outside his office with a new rope. History that still haunts us. When I tell this story, most shake their heads in disbelief. When I tell it to Black professionals, however, most nod their head in recognition. The former group feels shock, but the latter matches this story with ones from their family history marked with racial violence. Stories of an enterprising ancestor who faced a mob or of an ambitious grandparent cut down by terrorists aren't new to them. Every time they enter their place of business, some feel the suspicion that everything they've achieved could be snatched away in an instant, just like it was for so many and continues to be for many more. People want to believe the American dream invites everyone to aim high, but the reality is that the mob awaited African Americans who dreamed too big. Between 1882 and 1968, on average, a Black person was beaten, whipped, burned, hanged, and dismembered by a mob every 9 days. Many of these instances of violence flared up against people like my great-great-grandfather, who committed no crime other than being industrious. For every great-great-grandfather who hung from a tree, there was an Uncle Buck who remained traumatized no matter how far they advanced. And for every Uncle Buck who advanced, there were countless others who learned that if they wished to survive, they shouldn't try at all. 21st century Black Americans working in the United States do so in the historical shadow of colored-only signs and photographs of smiling couples pointing up at bodies in trees. Every time they hear another racist joke, witness another example of false equivalence, or read a coworker's insensitive social media posts, they remember that any advancements Black people have made in the professional world have always teetered on the brink. Whenever they look at the roster of team photographs on a prospective employer's website and don't see a single face that looks like theirs, they have to garner the bravery to even interview for an organization where they'll be the only Black person in a sea of white people. Numerous studies catalog the enormous toll this reality takes on Black professionals. When people belong to groups that have been persecuted, they receive innumerable little reminders of how dangerous their position is, producing a kind of anxiety that can alter their physiology. Constantly responding to the threat of being outnumbered, threatened, or unwelcome, they can experience damage on a cellular level. Racism kills through beatings, murders, and lynchings, but also through RNA inflammation, hypertension, and stress. No matter how much they achieve, many resemble my Uncle Buck and fear the mob is in the next conference room. Even if there is no horde trying to kill them, the historically justified fear that there might be is enough to become the thing that does. In short, the workplace is harmful to underrepresented employees, and organizations need to develop policies that acknowledge this reality. By bravely confronting the past and understanding the present, diversity, equity, and inclusion can provide strategies that can make a better future for everyone. This book is a step-by-step guide for making more inclusive workplaces where everyone can show up as their whole selves. Some long for the days where clear lines divided what was personal from what was professional, but as the story of my family shows, for many, those lines never existed. My great-great-grandfather couldn't keep his Blackness a personal issue when he went to work, and Uncle Buck couldn't keep social problems like segregation at home when he went into the office. DEI helps business leaders recognize how team members from marginalized communities inhabit a social space that inextricably links the personal and the professional. In this book, readers will learn how to examine themselves in the professional realms they occupy. Through reflection exercises, they will explore their social identities and appreciate the social identities of others in ways that create a deeper sense of workplace belonging. They will challenge their culturally relative biases about what constitutes professionalism and learn tips for how to diversify their thinking. Narratives, case studies, and statistics, as well as personal exercises, will offer a detailed outline of the inclusive practices that earn support, minimize exhaustion, and maximize success.